everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will do Unit 2 Business Management and Human Resource Management, and the topic is going to be Kurt Lewin's model of change management. This video will be equally important for the commerce students as well as the psychology students. So let us begin. Kurt Lewin was a social psychologist and he has contributed a lot. He has given field theory. The term action research was also coined by him. But today our focus is going to be change management theory. Before beginning the theory, you just tell me what is meant by the word change. What does it mean? In general terms, you just think about it. What is meant by the term change? Yes, it means modification of the existing behavior. Yes, modification of the existing behavior, or we can also say changing the status quo. Modification of the existing behavior or changing the status quo. Status quo means the current situation, and we know that the human nature is such that we resist change. Yes, we don't want to change because of our habits, because of our conventions, okay, or sometimes it is also due to ego. If we talk about from the organization point of view, you must have seen that if there is a superior and a subordinate in an organization, if any good suggestion has been given by the subordinate to his superior, the superior might not accept that suggestion given by the subordinate. Why? Due to the ego. Yes, because it hurts his ego. So that is called status quo, that a person doesn't want to change. So there can be individual reasons also for it, there can be organizational reasons also. So Kurt Lewin believed that the managers motivate their employees for change by guiding them through the 3 stages, and these 3 stages are unfreeze, change and refreeze. That guides the organization through the planned change by first preparing them for the change, then implementing the necessary modifications, and finally reinforcing and stabilizing the new behavior. Okay, and at last the stage is made permanent. Okay, that behavior is made permanent. Now let me ask you one question. You just think of a block of ice. Now you just tell me, if you want to change that ice cube into a cone of ice, how would you do it? Yes, you are right. What you will do first, you will unfreeze it. That is, you will melt the ice, transfer it into a cone shaped mold, and then in the end what you will do, you will refreeze it. So similarly, in an organization also, you have to melt the entire structure of the organization to its core. Okay, organizational structure will be melted to its core before implementing the changes and setting up the new organizational structure. Okay, see, begin by preparing for the change. Then in the second phase, the change will be implemented. How the change will be implemented? By giving the employees the necessary training. And refreeze means to make that change permanent. And in the unfreeze, obviously you will make the employees aware about the problem. Okay, we will study this in detail. See, the first stage is unfreeze. Here the employees are made aware of the change, that why do they need to change? Okay, what is the reason for the change? What are the benefits for the change? So disintegration of the status quo. Status quo means the current situation. It means the current situation. It is also called zero tolerance to change. Status quo is also called zero tolerance to change. As I told you that It is a human tendency. We often resist the change. So that needs to be broken down, or you can say that needs to be changed. So the benefits will be told to the employees that why that change is necessary. And obviously you must have seen that in an organization, the change is required. When the change is required, it is for the betterment. Yes, there can be internal forces, there can be external forces as well. Suppose internal forces, we can take an example of the deficiency in the system. Yes, maybe the existing system is not up to the mark, and the external forces can be the market or the changing technology, because we know that the business environment is dynamic, means it keeps on changing. You must have observed that during COVID, the education system shifted entirely from offline to online. So this was done through these three stages only: unfreezing, change, and then refreeze. First, the teachers were made aware about the advantages, yes. Then training was provided, okay. Proper support was provided by the organization, and then that change was made permanent. So there are two building blocks of this change theory. One is driving forces, means those forces which drive you towards the change. Okay, these forces take you towards the change. Another is resisting forces. These forces prevent you. Okay, so resisting forces have to be reduced, driving forces have to be increased. So the manager has to balance both. Means in order to change the behavior, an organization has to address both the driving forces as well as the resisting forces. If the driving force is more than the resisting force, then obviously change will occur. Yes, but if the driving force and the resisting force is same, okay, then the behavior will be in equilibrium. Now what does this mean, behavior will be in equilibrium? It means that no change has occurred. Okay, change has not occurred. So a good manager will address both. It will also try to reduce the resistance among the employees regarding the change, and it will also try to increase the driving forces so that eventually that change is implemented. The first stage is unfreeze, means prepare for the change. Here the goal is to create a perception that change is necessary and to overcome the resistance to the status quo. I've already told status quo means what? The current situation and the zero tolerance. Yes, zero tolerance to change. So what are the activities done by the managers here? They will communicate the reasons for the change. The existing mindsets will be challenged. The existing attitudes will be challenged that are preventing the change. Analyze the current state and understand the need for a new direction. Suppose an organization wants to make offline to online transition. Then in the unfreeze stage, obviously they will tell them about the need for the change. They will create an awareness that why do they need to change. Yes, they will also tell them about tell their employees about the inefficiencies of the paperwork. Yes, and remember one more thing, that in unfreeze stage, no, there are three things. One is, I'm writing in short, okay, recognizing the driving forces. Okay, recognizing the driving forces means what? To identify the need for the change, that why do we need to change. Then comes increasing the driving forces. Driving forces are the good ones, yes, which take you towards the change. So obviously the manager will increase the driving forces. And the third one is what? Managing the resisting forces. Managing the other block, that is the resisting one. Okay, and here why do people resist? because of the habits, because of the conventions, because of the ego, I told you in the beginning. And they often perceive change as harmful. So that is why manager has to reduce this resisting forces prevalent among the employees. So remember these three steps, okay? Recognizing the driving forces. Recognizing means identifying. Second is increasing the driving forces, and the third one is managing the resisting forces. Second is transition. What do you mean by transition? It means to replace the existing process with the new process. To replace the existing process with the new process. That is transition. As I gave you one example, no, shift from offline to online mode. So online mode was a new process and offline was the existing one. So what is the goal here in the second phase? To implement the change, to move the organization from the old state to a new desired state, means to the new equilibrium. Activities here are implement the process, system, behaviors or organizational structure. How can this be done? By providing training, support and resources to help people adapt to the new ways of working. Monitor the progress, gather feedback from the employees and make the necessary adjustments along the way. Because you know, when the employees are learning something new, obviously they will have a lot of queries, and those queries need to be addressed as they learn the new norm. Okay. Last stage is refreeze. Here what is done? The change is made permanent. Means the change is solidified. So here the goal is to stabilize the organization, because now training has been provided, they know how to work. Yes, so that change is stabilized. A new desired state has been achieved and those changes are made permanent. So reinforce the new behaviors, proper encouragement is required, processes and beliefs to ensure the new norm, to ensure that they become the new norm, establish systems and structures that support the new equilibrium, continue to communicate. See, in the second phase, communication was there, support was also provided there, but once the change has been solidified, the manager still needs to communicate and still needs to provide support. Why? So that the employees don't return to the previous stage. Okay. So to prevent that return to the old stage, the manager continues to communicate with their employees. So this is it. I have one homework question for you. You will write the answers in the comment section. Which of the following is not a step of unfreezing? The options are given. One is recognizing the driving force, increasing the driving force, decreasing the driving force, managing the resisting force. You have to tell me which one of the following is not a step of unfreezing. So thank you. Take care. See you in the next video.